What I've often appreciated is having the time to create all this wonderful content for you guys in a generation that is obviously very different from the generation that I had the chance to experience. But I've always believed that there is no true comparison that could ever be made to what it was truly like for you to be a fan of Descendants of Zombies to anything that I may have ever had the chance to experience, because this generation has been proudly represented by its kindness, by its tremendous heart, and its dedication to who and what all of you have loved. And I've just felt so honored to be a part of really every generation of Disney. I am somebody who remembers not being able to watch Disney when he was a kid as often as he wanted to, because Disney was only available certain times throughout the calendar year. And when you could watch Disney, you really felt like you had the world. You were stuck in front of your TV down inside of your basement, and you never wanted to leave until you couldn't watch Disney anymore. I always remember watching shows like Mickey Mouse Clubhouse and The House of Mouse, which were some of my favorites because Mickey Mouse, as you can see on my wall of nostalgic characters, was always one of my favorite characters. And to see Disney come as far as they have, creating franchises like High School Musical and Wizards and Hannah Montana, which eventually become all things Descendants of Zombies for many of us because we love it so much. It's really been an honor for me seeing these girls grow up and become the superstars they've become. I saw photos of Liamani Segura tonight on the ropes doing the stunts for the Perfect Princess music video, and she was so proud to be a part of that. I believe this was the first time ever she had the chance to do anything with Descendants or Descendants related, and I always remembered how she was a fan of Descendants and how her parents just wanted to have all of her dreams come true. Her parents were very dedicated to her, and they wanted to see the best things happen for her in this lifetime, and they are having the chance to really because of all of you, because you guys have contributed so much love and support to her. You've given her so much of a chance. And I want you guys to know that I have so much respect for you for what you've done for all these new characters and how you really welcome them in as part of a brand new generation of stars that are going to go on to captivate and steal far more hearts than I ever imagined they would. You know, it's one thing for me to sit here and tell you guys how Descendants of Zombies makes me feel, but I think that you guys could tell me more about how Descendants of Zombies makes you feel as a person, because for many of us, we grew up with Descendants of Zombies, and Descendants of Zombies is really the only thing that we've ever known. So because it's really the only thing that many of us have ever known and really realized, I think that we can show a greater appreciation all the time in the content that we create and become more relatable to people than perhaps ever before. Because people will merely just upload a reaction video, or they'll tell you how Descendants of Zombies makes you feel in just under 5 minutes. And what does 5 minutes really tell you? It really tells you nothing. You don't really get a whole lot, which is why I've loved recording commentaries, because commentarial perspectives give you a lot more insight on what you think the future has in store. And if you were to ask me, I think the future has a lot in store for us to experience. We have a brand new storyline between Red and Pink that's now been developed as they navigate the challenges of sisterhood. We have Red and Chloe Ming have creating brand new villains. So that's something to be really excited about too, because with more characters being created because of the consequences of time travel, and now after having altered the fabric of time, creating a brand new villain, Maddox Hatter, who Red thought at one time was her best friend, but now she's obviously thinking different because the roles have shifted from a VK to an HK, which is something I always wanted the chance to be. I always wanted to be everybody's favorite character. And if you guys could give me something like 50,000 subscribers, which would be more than Mr. Beast, I could realize my dream of going to Oregon and becoming everybody's favorite character. I know that's a long way away from ever happening and probably a long shot for me, but I would love to become everybody's favorite character. I would do the whole training regimens. I'd do the whole sword fighting thing, the choreographing. I'd be in the gym lifting weights. I do everything because I recently just got back into doing that because I just had this desire to want to be everybody's favorite character. And there was something so cool about having the chance to bring characters to life. Because when you bring a character to life, there's something more than just simply acting like that character or applying character traits. You really have to embrace that character. And you have to think of it like, to them, you're everybody's hero. So because to them you're everybody's hero, that should give you more incentive to bring that character to life and really find time and appreciating it. Because there are many people who were a part of Descendants that never really had that greater appreciation. When it came to the girls did an exceptionally beautiful job because they felt connected to the stories they were bringing to life, and they felt connected to you most of all. And that was why I always wanted to be a part of this franchise, was because if I was a writer or a producer, or I was one of those stage hands going around with a headset on all the time doing the sound checks and everything, I would really appreciate just having a chance to be in the same room with them and getting to know them for who they were. Because there's something about coming down off of that stage every night when your final performance happens and everybody hugs, everybody realizes that this feels like summer camp and we're never going to have the chance to be together ever again. There's something to really appreciate about the atmosphere every night when a performance comes to an end, and you see and you hear these reactions. It's one thing to hear those reactions, but when you see those reactions from those crowds, that's something you really put into perspective. And that's what I've enjoyed most of all, is seeing and hearing your reactions every night from last summer's Worlds Collide tour. I may have never had the chance to go, but I knew many of the people who were heading out to the Worlds Collide tour. The reason being was because there was no tour date that was close enough to where I was residing at the time. And I really wanted to go because I knew it was going to be something special. I knew many of the people in California and Michigan who were heading out to review the Worlds Collide tour at the Little Caesars Arena and in Fort Worth, Texas. I know somebody from every part of the world. So long story short, I knew many of the people that were heading out to criticize the Worlds Collide tour. I knew what they were about. I knew what they were going to do. And I always remembered wanting to be a guy in the crowd that would be relatable to all of you. And at least if I was going to post a review, it was going to be something nice because I know how much these characters have held a special place in your heart. For many of us, it was always Mal. Mel was our favorite character. At least 75 to 80% of the audience loved Mel so much. There are some people out there who love Kristen Chenoweth's portrayal of the Disney Maleficent character. I get that her portrayal of Maleficent has always held a special place in your heart. Of course, Jay and Carlos are two of everybody's favorites as well. And many of us have never wanted to let go of what the original story once was and what it represented. But as the times change, we as a fandom, unfortunately, no matter if we like it or not, have to change with the times. And how the times have changed, there are far more people who love this story more than ever before. So because there are far more people out there who love this story than ever before, and the only thing they've really ever become accustomed to is this new generation of stars because they love them so much, we can make room for this new generation of stars and make them feel confident about loving their favorite characters and these stars as much as what they have. Because I haven't met a single person out there in this world who doesn't love Liamani Segura with all of her heart. There are always people leaving the kindest comments for Liamani Segura on social media, and that comes with a lot of love and support. That shows dedication to who and what you believe in. Because for many of you, what made Descendants of Zombies so special was because of what and who you really believed in. You believed in the music video for Perfect Princess. I saw Liamani Segura getting on the ropes for this one and feeling so strong than ever before, and she did a wonderful job. She was so excited to do her own stunts for this, and I remember being so supportive of her, and I always wanted to say something nice. From the first moment I heard the Perfect Princess music video, I always wanted to say something special about it because I remember how people were so excited years ago and how even more excited they are now to be a part of this generation. You know, we've often heard conversations about who's going to be the next Taylor Swift or who's going to be the next Ariana Grande, who's really going to be the Hannah Montana of this generation. And I really think that names like Kylie Cantrell and Freya Sky are doing a fabulous job, and they are well on their way becoming something far greater than probably ever intended. I think that they are definitely going to be put in categories of their own, classes of their own, and they are never ever going to be forgotten. Because the thing that I really appreciated about Kylie Control was how she just wanted to tell her story while bringing that same story to life for you, either as Princess Red, who I know she really hates being referred to as a princess because she always thought of Red as being original and a VK, but she's going to go on to become something much more. She's going to go on to become something much more after having altered the fabric of time than she ever thought she would be. And again, going back to Descendants Wicked Wonderland, where many people have been left in doubt about the creative direction and the creative sense, I really love how Descendants has really modernly updated the look and the feel of Wonderland. I really look how they've updated the outfits, how these brand new dolls look absolutely fantastic. I want them all, honestly. And if I could have a shelf behind me here, I would have all the Descendants dolls on there. It may have cost me hundreds of dollars, but I would definitely go out of my way to have every single doll. There are over something like 100 dolls in the Descendants Zombies doll collection, and I would love to have all of them. So I can kind of relate to all of you for how you feel about these dolls, all this extensive merch. And that's why I always made a commitment and a promise to you guys that if I ever got in as a stagehand or a creative writer for Disney, I would make all of this stuff accessible for many people who never had the chance to have it. Because I know there were people who went to the Worlds Collide Tour who got shut out, who couldn't get a ticket, who just wanted to go. And the same logic applies to the leg two of the Worlds Collide Tour. You don't care who's headlining it. You just want to be a part of it. And that's what's always made this whole experience for me as a YouTuber worth it, because I know that you just want to be a part of it. And the reason why many of you can't be a part of it is because the merchandise and the ticket prices are too high, and the merch is never really accessible. I went on FreyaSky.com the other night, and I saw some of her t-shirts being priced as high as $50 without tax. So by the time the tax factors in, the shipping fees, you're paying well over $100 for a Freya Sky hoodie. So what I will do is if I get like 50,000 likes and 50,000 subscribers on at least one video and Disney sees my videos, I promise you guys I will make this merch for Freya. I'll make this merch for Descendants of Zombies, all the Worlds Collide Tour finale. I'll make it accessible for you guys and definitely affordable for people who just want to be a part of something so special, because the VIP packages being priced up as high as $300, the stars obviously deserve it, yes, but you guys deserve reasonable ticket prices because you guys deserve something so much more than what you've been getting and what you've been given. Because you guys have shown so much love and support for Descendants of Zombies. So because you've been showing so much love and support, you've always deserved to be considered a part of these moments, and you've always deserved to have these moments. And I may be the only guy on YouTube who feels that way, but it's because I know what it's like most of all, and most importantly, to be like you. I know what it's like to stand in the cold for hours trying to get your hands on a ticket. I know what it feels like when you get your hands on that ticket and it's part of your stocking stuffers for Christmas, because I saw some of your reaction videos that people were posting, and you guys were so excited to be heading to the Worlds Collide Tour. You guys got it as a Christmas gift, and that following summer, we covered the Worlds Collide Tour, and we really had the time of our lives. And this fall, as we shift from the summer to the fall, this is going to be huge, because you think about it like this. The Worlds Collide Tour is going to be happening in the nighttime because, of course, we're going to head into daylight savings time. We're going to move from daylight savings time to standard time. So you guys are going to be going to the Worlds Collide Tour in the nighttime. And that's going to be cool enough. Then you're going to have pyro. Then you're going to have all these lights, because one thing I would put in there would be definitely pyro and more pyro, because you guys have deserved pyro and more special effects at these Worlds Collide Tours for a very long time. There's something I've always loved about lighting up the sky with pyro, and how Disney's had this thing for pyro for forever. Because to me, I don't think Disney can really exist without pyro. So more pyro is something that can be added into the Worlds Collide Tour, a more collaborative experience, more crossover opportunities. We have the Locker Diaries coming out for Descendants just before Descendants Wicked Wonderland drops. So that's going to be really, really cool to see the Locker Diaries have a Descendants installment, because I remember the Zombies one and how cool that was and how fun that was for everybody. Let me put it this way. If I was a creative writer for Disney, there would be nothing that I wouldn't do to keep Descendants of Zombies alive. Wicked World only had like 2 seasons, but everybody loved Wicked World for the music, for the story. They could have had shorter, longer episodes. They could have had more episodes, and they could have had more seasons of this. 2 seasons really didn't do Wicked World much justice, because in the series, we saw characters that never really had a greater appreciation brought to life for Descendants. We never saw the greater appreciation for a daughter for Alice in Wonderland named Allie. We never saw the greater appreciation for, of course, Captain Hook's daughter Hazel. So there's so much to take away from things, and so much more of a chance to really create. What's always been lacking with Disney is this creative way. And I think that because of that, that's why we don't see them post as much on social media. That's why we haven't seen as much promotion for Wicked Wonderland, because of the lack of creative energy. And as long as you have somebody there who is committed to presenting more creative energy, only special things will happen, because who's been creating and who's been promoting Descendants of Zombies all along have been all of you. You've done it in your wonderful graphics. You've done it in your wonderful AI videos that you've created. I know because I've seen virtually every single one of them. You guys have been promoting Descendants all along. It was never up to us to promote Descendants of Zombies. It was merely just up to us to record reaction videos, which never really gave you a whole lot. I think I'm the only guy on YouTube, honestly, who actually sits here and talks about Descendants of Zombies in front of his microphone. Because if you gave that opportunity to somebody else, they wouldn't be able to do it, because nobody can commentate on Descendants of Zombies, because merely for the purpose of a reaction video and the sole purpose of it, people are probably watching the teaser trailer for the first time ever in their life. They've never even watched Descendants. I've known many people for years who have watched Descendants for the first time ever for the sole purpose of recording a reaction video that you don't really get a whole lot from. So I think that sitting in front of your microphone and actually telling people how you're inspired, and been left inspired for forever seemingly from characters such as Mal and Evie, which eventually became Red and Chloe and Bridget, who you guys know that I'm absolutely in love with, because Bridget offered so much to this story. And it's just a shame that her story was very short-lived, but never having been fully told and completed, her story has always held a very special place in my heart, and will continue to hold a very special place in my heart for many years to come. Not to forget to mention all the inspiration that I've drawn from your favorite characters, the fitness regimes, going back to the gym, lifting weights again, feeling stronger than I ever had before. I would have never done it if I never saw your favorite stars doing it, staying updated and in shape for these roles that are very demanding, that I have a tremendous amount of respect for them. I haven't done it in years, but I have recently gotten back into it because of what I've seen these stars do and what they've had to endure, and they've really had to endure a lot. I really don't believe in having to go home and refraining from watching TikTok and Instagram because you're afraid of what people are going to say about you. I think that people should come on here with a smile on their face and talk about more often how proud they feel to call themselves a fan of Descendants and Zombies, which is something I've emphatically done. And because I've emphatically said that I'm a fan of Descendants and Zombies and I've never felt more proud of these girls and how far they've come, I think that's why this YouTube channel has become so relatable and has become everybody's favorite, because I really do love these girls for who they've become, what they've offered to all of you, and how you guys have been left feeling so inspired by your favorite characters. That became the greatest honor of my life. And honestly, there is no place in the world I would rather be tonight as the sun sets behind me that you can see creeping in through my window, that I would be tonight than sitting here in front of this microphone telling you guys how passionate I feel about Descendants of Zombies and really what I've taken away from it. I will never forget how just last summer, I do believe, we watched the premiere of Zombies 4 Dawn of the Vampires together. And I remember taking so much incentive away from these brand new stars, Freya Sky and Malachi Barton, because we wanted to see a story continue for them as we move forward into the future. We knew pretty much we were guaranteed the future in the saga of zombies was going to be fulfilled, but we had no idea how. And I remember in Zombies 3, at the conclusion of Zombies 3, in one of the prologues, mermaids were kind of teased because they were animated for the final scene of Zombies 3, of course, when the aliens came and tried to take over Seabrook. And I think zombies and mermaids have been the conversation for a very long time. So after, hearing this talked about for pretty close to 3 years, it's finally happening. And I'm really excited to see, how these new characters are going to really offer something so special to the story that have left people more often than enough feeling very captivated. Someone I'm very proud of is definitely Meg Donnelly and Mila Manheim, especially Meg Donnelly. I know that Supergirl came out a couple of days ago. She was kind of left brokenhearted because she wasn't chosen over Millie Alcott to play Supergirl. But I just want to put it out there. Even if I do go see Supergirl, which I'm planning to do on Tuesday, I'm planning to go see Supergirl, I think, this coming Tuesday. So I'll let you guys know how I felt about that. But the thing is, and I get pushed through these movies because the thing is, guys, I really do appreciate how entertainment can create something so special, even though I may get pushed through these movies from time to time. I know how much the role for Supergirl meant to her. And when I'm watching Millie Alcott this coming week, I'm really going to be thinking about her because I know she had her heart set on being Supergirl and she really wanted this role more than anything, but there are going to be far more opportunities out there. I just want to let you know this for Meg Donnelly to really seize and really take advantage of. I know they began filming the live action Tangle from Spain. Of course, Tegan Croft and Milo Manheim are going to do a fabulous job with this. I would have loved to have seen Meg Donnelly play Rapunzel because there was always something about Milo and Meg being seen together and the appreciation they had for each other. But they've really come a long way and they've really come into their own. They've become stronger people and there's no better way of feeling stronger than by feeling stronger together. So the thing that I really appreciated about them is how they're always there for each other with their arms around each other, always hugging each other, always feeling so close and feeling really inseparable. And I think we saw that for a short time with Kylie Contrell and Malia Baker. And I think many of us kind of feel the same way and wish things were still the way they were. But unfortunately, things change in life, and sometimes, things happen sometimes that are pretty much unexplainable. But I think that they're pretty much going to move on from that. They're still going to be the best of friends, and I don't think that how people feel have never really been any reflection on who these people are as individuals. I think they're wonderful. I think they've contributed a whole lot to this franchise, probably more than many of us ever thought they would. And now Liamani Segura is kind of in the middle of this new trio, which I'm really excited for all of us to meet because I really love how Liamani Segura is kind of just there randomly to have fun. She's kind of just showing up at random and she's all about having fun and really appreciating who she is as a person, really the embodiment of being proud of who you are, feeling very comfortable in your own skin. And I really love how she's all like, yeah, I'm here to have fun. I really love that about her. And I think her imagination is really a spark that is going to become something so special. And she's going to make a whole lot of people really, really proud. And I just feel so honored to be here to have had the chance to experience all of this with really all of you, because Descendants Wicked Wonderland, from how I choose to look at it and how I see it, is truly going to be something special for a whole lot of people. And I think that we're all about to take away something so special from these stories and this franchise, unlike anything we've ever had the chance to be a part of in our lives, because I've been a part of really everything. The Vampire Diaries, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, The X-Files, True Blood. I've seen the best of them come and go. But I don't know if I've ever had the chance to be a part of something that even closely resembles just how powerful of a feeling that often resonates from Descendants of Zombies, because so many people have been made to feel that much closer together and should be given something at least to believe in as we make our way into what I know is a very unpredictable future, and sometimes often more scarier than ever given credit for, because we never know what the future has in store. But trust me, we're going to experience this future together, and no matter what the future has in store, you guys will always have me as a dedicated voice to help you make sense of everything going on around you. That's one promise I can make from me to you, because I feel just as passionately about Descendants of Zombies as you do, probably even more. And I think that's really what's allowed us to really bring these videos to life, something that we really created together as we gave back to every fan of Descendants of Zombies who just wanted to be given something more to believe in. And rest assured that Descendants Wicked Wonderland is not goodbye. It is not the end. And long after Descendants Wicked Wonderland makes its official premiere on Disney Plus and Disney Channel, I will still be here running back what Descendants once was, what Descendants is meant to always be, and never ever forgotten for having been a true inspiration to millions of people. We will run it back every night. I intend on hosting this show for the rest of my life. And because I intend on hosting this show for the rest of my life until I'm like ready to die, I I love this experience so much, and I really love being here with all of you. And I really love putting my heart into who and what I believed in, which have obviously been all of your favorite characters. From my heart to yours, thank you so very much for always and forever having made this your favorite Descendants of Zombies YouTube channel, and always, from my heart to yours, thank you so much for having watched these videos.